Hi, my name is Ram Meduri. I am the founder and CEO of Jama Wealth. We are a SEBI-registered investment advisory focusing on quantitative algorithms to pick the best equities for long-term wealth creation. My background, I'm an MBA from IIM Bangalore with a bachelor's degree in computer science. I've always been fascinated with technology from childhood, got into programming at a very, very young age. And I've also been fascinated with numbers, the power of compounding, and how consistency over time can create magic. And naturally, from a career standpoint, I picked the intersection of technology and finance, TechFin nowadays it is called, and worked with leading companies like Infosys, where I had a chance to work with many large investment firms globally. And subsequently, I also spent time at the ICICI Group. I used to head technology for ICICI Lombard, which is India's largest private insurance company. And subsequently, I also was the group chief information officer at Magma FinCorp, where I again used technology to enable retail finance in a big way. We started Jama Wealth with an aim to make investing simple, transparent, and convenient for people. And looking forward to a great journey with you. My colleague Manoj would like to introduce himself now.
Hi, this is Manoj Trivedi, Head of Advisory and Research, jamawealth.com. I'm basically an accountant, a cost accountant and a chartered accountant who was enamored by the wealth creation opportunity through the stock market route ever since my student days. And now it has been more than 30 years of an eventful journey where I've had the good fortune of working on various assignments, including enterprise valuation, supporting some M&A deals, structuring capital for client organizations. So Ram and I have been classmates at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and since then have shared this vision of making investment simple and easy for investors, cutting out a lot of noise that is associated with that. And we've been bringing our individual experiences, the lessons learned, and have added the power of technology to make this a very fruitful experience for our clients.
Now we will talk in brief about our investing strategies. While there are maybe a dozen or 2 dozen investing strategies out there, we primarily focus on three dimensions. One is fundamental based, second is quantitative model based, and third is quality. I will now request Manoj to speak about the fundamental strategy.
In fundamentals, we basically follow the bottom to top approach where we place greater weightage to specific company performance and the weightage is lower to industry and macro factors. While these factors are important and we do factor in those, but our core emphasis is on the specific performance of the company. While we follow fundamentals and we do not look for price patterns as in technicals, we also resist the temptation of placing a value to a stock. So we are not actually looking for one correct number as to what should be the value of the stock, but we look at consistent performance across different scenarios so that we are convinced that this company is a winner.
While we definitely try to look at winners based on fundamentals, our quantitative strategy helps us base these decisions on data. As Mr. Narayan Murthy used to say in my early days at Infosys, in God we trust, rest all bring data. So we have ingested data on all the companies for the last 21 years in terms of their balance sheet and P&L. And we have used algorithms that analyze this data and arrive at moving averages and various derived ratios. So as a result, for every company, we have literally thousands and thousands of parameters to crunch. And using our technology background, we have also built algorithms which can automatically assign weights on which parameters to pick. And these weights are context sensitive. For example, in a low interest rate regime, we give high tolerance to debt. While otherwise, going by the fundamental strategy that Manoj said, we would ideally prefer a zero debt company. However, we give some allowance and the algorithms work on that. So this quantitative strategy helps us identify the right companies by using the right weights. Now we have backtested this strategy over the last 15 years and the results have been really good. We have deployed the strategy for the last, I would say 19 to 20 months, and we have achieved a very good CAGR of in the mid 40s. And compared to that, the index, Nifty index, has given a CAGR of about in the mid 20s. Primary strategies that we have are fundamentals, and second, quantitative. We also do look at quality of the company, the quality of management, quality of corporate governance, quality of the shareholding pattern, quality of the brand, reputation, etc. Manoj, any final words on quality?
Yeah. The final word on quality is that we have zero tolerance for any misgovernance. Okay, any hint of any deviation from what we would call it highest levels of integrity would trigger a red flag for us, and we would want to quit that business where quality of management is a question mark.
Yeah. So combination of these strategies has definitely given us an edge and made investing unbiased, data-based, simple and rewarding for us and our clients. So our portfolio methodology is basically called Roots and Wings, and we use this to pick the right stock portfolios aided by our fundamental and quantitative and quality strategies that are the overarching principles for us. So Roots are basically a set of principles that aim to preserve wealth by selecting companies with low debt, consistent return on equity, return on capital employed, and promoter integrity. Whereas Wings are another set of principles that aim to increase the portfolio growth by identifying companies that are growing steadily in terms of sales, profits, cash flows, and companies that are resilient, and companies having pricing power, stickiness in the markets. Now, Manoj will talk about Roots in a bit more detail.
So when the idea of Roots is to preserve wealth, and therefore we prefer to invest in businesses that carry very low debt. This means that their growth is fueled by their customers and through internal accruals. We like companies that consistently reward their shareholders through high levels of return on equity and return on assets. This signals not only an efficient business, but also one that is shareholder friendly. We like promoters who demonstrate both skin in the game and soul in the game. Such promoters retain significant ownership in their business, which prevents the agency problem. We like companies that have already run the marathon and have demonstrated stamina. As a corollary, we avoid nano caps, micro caps, and baby caps because the intent is to preserve capital first and not be exposed to risks stemming out of promoter integrity or the lack of it.
Yeah. So coming back to Wings, which I had earlier talked about the growth factor, we prefer companies that have a huge runway of growth ahead of them. Typically these companies tend to grow at 1.5 to 3 times that of the GDP growth, in a growing economy. Also many companies in a low growth economy also, they tend to still deliver decent growth and definitely, avoid degrowth. In terms of the growth, we don't look at just the top line, but we also look at the midline, which is the operating profit. We look at the bottom line. We look at the cash flows and make sure that there is enough free cash flows running in the company. We also deploy many fraud indicators to ensure that the revenue that they're talking about is actually booked revenue and not just some fictitious revenue. We like companies which are not only growing but also are dominant in their markets and continue to hold a good market share. For example, just to take an example, in our portfolio, we've had Asian Paints for the last 10 plus years. And if you look at how the story behind Asian Paints is simply that, look, India is growing, people are buying houses, infrastructure is getting built, all of that has to be painted. Now, which company do you pick among the potential painting winners? And we picked Asian Paints because of the fact that it met the roots and the wings criteria. And as a result, you can see in the chart how Asian Paints has grown in terms of its profit and in terms of the shareholding, the share price, which has compounded by nearly 25% over the last 10 years. Investment is not a static process. Buying and forgetting or just sitting tight is a luxury that the average HNI or retail investor cannot afford. If you don't review your stocks regularly, then the companies that you're holding can sink in days. In fact, even industries can get upended in months. We've seen this happen to companies and brands like Jet Airways, Yes Bank, etc. And industries like film photography have disappeared. Even Nokia, died a pretty sudden death in terms of its business. So therefore, at Jama Wealth, we grill each stock every quarter with an intense review process that periodically checks for all the fundamentals that we talked about earlier. The model clinically picks early indicators which help exit risky stocks in time. We prefer to err on the side of caution rather than take some risk. And sometimes holding a bad stock is also a risk. So this investment process is fully backed by a system that we have built ground up proprietarily, which takes the emotion out of the picture, and hence it leads to balanced decisions that work well for the portfolio. The portfolio has stocks which are typically equally weighted. Often, if we feel very strongly about the fundamentals of some of the stocks, we give them a higher weightage. Every quarter, when we rebalance, the beauty of this process is that we bring the weights back. So if, let us say, there are two stocks and one of them has gone up and the other has not gone up as much, at the end of the quarter, when we rebalance, assuming that the fundamentals of both the stocks are continuing to be good, the stock which has gone up, we release some of that and invest that money back into the stock which has not gone up. This strategy acts like a shock absorber to the portfolio growth. And when we simulated this over the last n number of years, we saw that it significantly helped make the portfolio very resilient. The other aspect of our rebalancing is that we use technology heavily. So when somebody has to rebalance, our system automatically calculates the sell quantity and the buy quantities, and a secure link goes to the client. All they have to do is click on the link, and it takes care of placing the required transactions in their Demat account. They don't have to do the data entry and the calculations. And we also have built intelligence into the system to track what transactions belong to which plan that the client is investing in. For example, a client may be investing in, let's say, a 50 lakh lump sum, and they may be doing an SIP also at the same time. So the system, when it rebalances, it actually can trace the transactions back to either the lump sum or the SIP. So that helps you get a view on how your investment at various points in time are going. You may have invested a big chunk, let's say post-Corona. You may want to see how that is performing. You may have invested a big chunk before Corona. You may want to see how that is performing. This takes care of that. We also, as part of our rebalancing process, send a detailed research note to our clients, which talks about our outlook on the past quarter as well as the coming quarter, as well as specific views on the stocks. This is a companion to the actual investment advice that we give to our clients. In addition to this report, we also conduct a quarterly conference call with all our clients so that we can answer any specific questions that they have. So in this way, our rebalancing process is very detailed, very scientific, and very client centric.